State health officials briefed lawmakers today about the ongoing measles outbreak in West Texas. Over the weekend, the number of cases increased by 12 to 158. Officials say they're beginning to see more people get vaccinated, especially in affected areas. Fox 4's Amelia Jones is live with more on the outbreak, as well as some isolated cases we've seen elsewhere. Amelia.
Clarice, the updated numbers of measles cases was shared during a Texas House Committee meeting on public health today. The efficacy of the vaccine was also a topic of discussion. I spoke with a former chief epidemiologist today who shared the combination of vaccinations and isolating after exposure is still the best way to minimize the spread. The Texas State Department of Health Services shared the number of measles cases linked to the outbreak in West Texas is now at 158. That's up from 146 reported on Friday. The update was given during a Texas House Committee meeting on public health Monday. This led to questions about the measles vaccine.
It's a weakened form of the virus, and it causes a really strong immune response that can last for the rest of your life, and so it's one of our really good ones.
DSHS reports some of those infected had at least one dose of the vaccine, but the majority were not vaccinated or their status was unknown. There are a few isolated cases that are not included in the state's count. It included cases reported in Rockwall and Austin, where people contracted the disease after traveling abroad.
So we've been increasingly seeing more cases since last year, but we do see cases, import cases, routinely from Asia, Africa, the Middle East, when people travel and they're not vaccinated or they're under-vaccinated. So that does happen.
Diana Cervantes is a former chief epidemiologist for the state. She says in high vaccination areas, measles is less likely to cause an outbreak if someone comes home with the disease. But if it spreads to other areas that have a high under-vaccinated or not vaccinated population, that's when cases start to spread and can become an outbreak.
And I know I've definitely worked outbreaks where it starts with somebody who was under-vaccinated or vaccinated with very mild disease. They didn't recognize it as measles, and then it spread to people who weren't vaccinated.
DSHS reports in recent days there have been an increase in vaccinations, especially in the affected areas of West Texas. Cervantes acknowledged that there's still vaccine hesitancy from the pandemic, but also a lack of awareness about vaccination status, especially in children.
It's a combination of, people are definitely a little bit more hesitant, but also because just people got behind not even thinking about it because it felt like, it was the pandemic, and then all of a sudden just trying to get things back into normalcy, they just got behind and forgot about it.
Cervantes also advises people, if you know you've been exposed and you want to go to the doctor, call ahead to the doctor's office so you don't expose everyone in the waiting room. The measles virus can remain airborne for up to 2 hours, which is one reason why it's so contagious. DSHS has a list of potential exposure sites on its website. State officials update the case numbers every Tuesday and Friday.